Number 19, AP, About Is Power, at a stock price of 37 pesos and a dividend of 1.87. It has corrected a bit. That's why its dividend yield is relatively higher now with a stock price of 1.32, DDMPR at number 7. However, also please do note the sustainability of how they're paying out the dividends, their income also, and how sustainable will it be for them to give high dividends. Thank you for joining me again as we go into a deep dive into an exciting topic that holds immense potential for investors seeking stable returns and passive income. Today, I'm thrilled to provide you with an update on the top dividend stocks in the Philippines as of June 2023. And please do note, there may be a lot of changes depending on when you are watching this. In an ever-evolving market landscape where uncertainty often takes center stage, dividend stocks offer a beacon of reliability and financial well-being. They provide investors with a unique opportunity to not only grow their wealth but also generate consistent income streams, making them a favorite choice for those seeking financial stability and long-term financial goals. We will explore the dynamic landscape of the Philippine stock market and uncover some of the most promising companies that have consistently demonstrated their commitment to shareholders through the distribution of dividends. We will analyze key factors such as dividend yield based on the price and the dividends that they've given out this year and make some projections or assumptions based on what they've given out last year. Now, without further ado, let's embark on this journey together and let's look at the ranking of the top dividend stocks in the Philippines. Number 19, AP, About Is Power, at a stock price of 37 pesos and a dividend of 1.87. This gives us a dividend yield of 5%. Number 18, we have RFM with a stock price of 3.19 and a dividend of 0.163226. This gives us a dividend yield of about 5.1. Number 17, Meralco, which has been a stalwart in our list over the past years with a stock price of 320 and a dividend of 16.834. This gives us a dividend yield of about 5.13%. Number 16, Globe, which pretty much has been part of my list over the past few years also. They've reduced their dividends at least for the first two quarters from 27 per quarter. It's now 25 per quarter. So we're projecting 100 peso dividend for 2023. And at a stock price of 1785, this gives us a dividend yield of 5.6%. Now, this is something that's interesting at number 15. This is one of the highest banks that I've seen to give out dividends. We have East West Bank at a stock price of 7.18 and a dividend of 0.41. This gives us a dividend yield of 5.71%. Number 14, another stalwart in our list, the first REIT that came out in the Philippines, a REIT at 34.55 pesos per share and a 2.08 peso dividend. This gives us a dividend yield of 6%. Number 13, Philinvest REIT or FLIRT, with a stock price of 4.4 and a dividend of 0.284. Just a disclaimer to this and something that you need to look at. They've reduced the dividends that they've given out, and you have to monitor this also on how this will be over the next few years. If they continue to reduce this, no matter how high the dividend yield that they have today, it may not be appealing for you also if the dividends would be continued to be reduced in years to come. So please do note, it's also a reflection of the rentals. So the rentals must do better so that they can give out also better dividends. Dividend yield of 6.45%. Moving on to number 12, at the stock, we have Nickel Asia at a stock price of 6 and a dividend of 0.4. This gives you about 6.67% dividend yield. Number 11, we have another REIT at RCR. Do note also that majority of the REITs have been down massively from their all-time highs, but it's not just them. Also, a lot of the other stocks have been relatively down. Now, RCR at a stock price of 5.75 and a dividend of 0.3908 gives you a dividend yield of 6.79%. Number 10, I've been talking about this over the past years, and I've interviewed their CEO during their IPO, and our team, shout out to Sarah, who went to Cebu to be able to attend their annual stockholders meeting and see all of their projects and how good Cebu Landmasters is. You have a stock price of 2.62 pesos per share, and a dividend of 0.18 gives you a dividend yield of 6.87%. Number 9, we have another REIT, MREIT at 14.06, and a dividend of 0.99 pesos gives you a dividend yield of 7%. Number 8, one of my favorite REITs, you have C-REIT at 2.53 pesos per share. If it gives you a dividend of 0.188, dividend yield is at 0.743%. Now, that being said, also do note that C-REIT has moved up the past few months. If you bought it months prior, your dividend yield would be higher. Now, the DMPR, one of the stocks that also, it has corrected a bit. That's why its dividend yield is relatively higher now, with a stock price of 1.32, DMPR at number 7, 0.101556 has a dividend yield of 7.69. Now, number 6, you have Shang or SHNG at a stock price of 2.82 and a dividend of 0.25. You have a dividend yield of 8.86%. Now, to our top 5. Can anyone guess what's part of our top 5? Comment below. But we have PLDT, which has been very, very consistent in giving its dividends, which has also increased its dividends. But in the same way, for 2023, its stock price has been battered down at a stock price of 1,880 and dividends of 134. This gives you a dividend yield of 10.46%. Do note also that when you receive these dividends, you have to less 10%, which is the tax that's currently withheld for dividends that you receive. But what I like about dividend stocks is this one is passive already. You don't have to deposit a check. You don't have to have any problems with the rent. You don't have to manage people and so much more. Number 4, this stock also has retraced over the past few days. You have GMA7 with a stock price of 8.51 and a dividend of 1.1. This gives you a dividend yield of 12.92%. Now, top 3, LTG with a stock price of 9.45 and dividends of 1.4. It gives you a dividend yield of 14.81%. Now, these two, they have been very, very high for the past few years. Even when we've been talking about this at 2020 during COVID, they still managed to be in the top of the list as well. However, also please do note the sustainability of how they're paying out the dividends, their income also, and how sustainable will it be for them to give high dividends. Anyways, number 2 is DMCI or DMC with a stock price of 9.71, gives you a dividend of 1.44. The dividend yield for this is about 14.83%. Lastly, I'm sure you've guessed it, you have Semirara or SCC with a stock price of 28.25 and a dividend of 7. This gives you a dividend yield of 24.78%. We have AP, RFM, Meralco, Globe, East West Bank, A-REIT, PhilREIT, Nickel Asia, RCR, CLI, M-REIT, C-REIT, DDMPR, Shang, PLDT, GMA7, LTG, DMC, and SCC. Do you guys own any of these stocks? Based on this list, are you adding more, or are you okay already with what you currently have, or are you positioning and adding to the same stocks that you have over and over? Now, as we come to an end to this video into the world of top dividend stocks in the Philippines, I hope you found this as an enlightening and insightful journey/video, as I have. The power of dividends as a means to build wealth and generate passive income cannot be understated. Armed with the knowledge that you've gained today, it's up to each of you to take action and leverage those opportunities for your own financial success. I want to thank you all for your presence and your engagement throughout this video. Your enthusiasm and commitment to expand your financial knowledge is truly inspiring. I encourage you to reach out, network, and connect with other people that think like you and have a passion for dividend investing. See you all again soon. God bless you all.